right, crew. It's week 8. There's a lot going on in our league this week. There's pretty much a log jam with the records, as per usual in week 7 in fantasy football. The problem is in our league, with 10 players, only 4 teams make the playoffs. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Todd, the bottom of the barrel in our league really is Dave English.
Dave English and a null intruder, 69.
But did you see the post this week that Mike Collins says, if I get beat by Dave English, I'm going to commit public suicide?
Public suicide, yes, and
What happened?
I believe you got beat by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a.k.a. David English.
Yeah, Dave English beat your ass this week, Collins. So whenever you want to film that YouTube video of you slitting your own throat, just let us know. We'll post it for you.
Or you can come over here and we can just watch you do it.
Either way is fine. But Dave's 1-6 now. Let's talk about another 1-6 team, Jason Gaither. Big trade last week with him.
Collusion.
Collusion.
That's all I gotta say. Collusion. And if I was by a computer, I would have vetoed that, but I wasn't, so you got lucky.
You're lucky. There was 3 vetoes. You traded Dez Bryant for next year's 3rd-round draft pick and a shit-bomb player, whatever. So next year, you're in prime position with Keith's 3rd-round player, and Keith, you only are drafting 14 players next year.
And I think the Denver Broncos, which is your team pretty much, are going to go downhill after losing to the Colts. So I love Peyton Manning. God bless you, but I don't know. I think obviously you roll as the Broncos roll, and I don't think you're going to be rolling too much longer.
Well, we'll get to Keith in a minute, but let's talk about a 2-5 team at number 8 here. That's Mike Collins, who just lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He did. Shaming. Public shaming.
I don't know that much else needs to be said. Mike, get your shit together. Why are you losing to teams like that?
Game over.
Game over, brother. All right. Now, Team Saddam is sitting at 7. Really liked his team on paper early in the year, but Tom Brady is not having quite the year you're hoping for, and 3-4. I think you are back to the drawing board here. Maybe work the trades. I saw you sent me one today, but it wasn't quite good enough.
Tom Brady sucks dick. That's all I gotta say.
That's all you gotta say. That's it. All right. So now that brings us to the 3 teams that are sitting at 4-3. Let's go ahead and talk about Daniel Camden's team.
Daniel Camden, wide receiver heavy. That worked out for you the first couple weeks, but I don't know if it's gonna keep you rolling throughout the rest of the season into the playoffs.
Relying heavy on DeMarco Murray and Darren McFadden, like I talked about last week, not always a good idea. But
and if you weren't keeping up on things, DeMarco Murray's hurt, so that could be an issue.
It's questionable this week. Maybe keep him out of the starting lineup. I don't know. All right, now we're looking at 4-3, and he was kind of on a heater for a little minute, kind of cooled down. Teddy is at 4-3. What are your thoughts about Teddy?
Cheap win against the team Donger. I should be 6-1, but I'm not.
Ooh, he beat you last week? How close was it?
It was fairly close. Like a couple months, maybe 10.
All right, well, I'll take a personal vendetta this week as I play Teddy and try to avenge the death. But, right now I think he's favored by 7-8 points. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, living the dream. I think you're going to lose this week to Team Swayze, and you're going to be living the nightmare.
Living the nightmare. You heard it first. The final 4-3 team, Keith Parker, the Denver Broncos.
As I said earlier.
Live and die by the Broncos. Next week, the Broncos are on bye. That's leaving you with 4 and 1 on your bench, 5 players that cannot start for you. I think you're get a scheduled loss next week. I don't know who you play, but they're sure as shit getting the win. Where you got to worry about, I think, at the end of the year is Peyton Manning getting rested for the playoffs. And if you can't get playoff wins in our league, you don't win championships. So good luck with that. But as for now, I think you're going to heat up a little bit. And then that brings us to 2 5-2 teams. This is the top 3. So let's go ahead and talk about Team Donger, who leads his division, Todd Sauter.
Well, Team Donger, he's taking on the Shuttlecock this week. We have a battle of the dicks. And,
Dong versus Cock.
Dong versus Cock. Dong is pretty strong, somewhat big, but he's got Matt Forte and Brandon Marshall on bye this week. I think Shuttlecock is the bigger wiener here. and he takes the win this week.
I agree. Strong Dong versus Mr. Cock. I love that Taylor has embraced Vince Shuttlecock. Early in the year, it was Matt, Vince, Shuttlecock, Taylor, but now Matt Taylor has become more of a moniker to him. He's fully embraced this role as Vince Shuttlecock. Now it's Vince, Matt Taylor, Shuttlecock.
Dynamite dropping, Monty, and I wanted to point out that in my phone I now have Matt Taylor as Vince Shuttlecock. Matt Taylor, you're no more.
It's taken on its own beast, I'd say, at this point. So, but at any rate, like you said, Forte's on bye, Brandon Marshall on bye, Shuttlecock rolls. Todd, you're down to 5-3. So moving on to the top two, I'm in number 2 spot, 5-2. I put up a salty under 60-point performance last week. Or it was very low. I don't know. It was bad, but I think there are greener pastures coming for me. I already got 5 wins. I think I'm playoff bound, but only 4 make it. So rough matchup this week against Teddy Deering. I'm going to go ahead and give Ted the win. I'm going to be 5-3 right there with you.
Yeah, you are. Hey, what are you going to do, though?
That's just fantasy. All right, and our number 1 team, and has been all year long. I mean, for the guy that's never played fantasy football in his life.
Who actually shamed it publicly. Shamed fantasy football.
That's true. But the guy works on the sidelines of the NFL every Sunday, so he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah, he used to make fun of it. Now he's entrenched in it. He loves it, and he can't get enough of it. And he, like we said earlier, he's embraced the Shuttlecock moniker. And
At 6-1, Mr. Cock is in the playoffs, and Vince, you know, you're the favorite right now. So until somebody dethrones that, the trophy's yours.
True story. And you might have maybe had a salty performance last week, but at least you didn't lose to David English.
That's true. I don't have to off myself in any sort of auditorium this week. So, Mike, you know, if you want to defend yourself, welcome to come on the show next week. I mean, you were supposed to show up tonight. You were so ashamed. You texted me at 3:30 and said, "I don't think I can make it. I can't be on YouTube and talk about this." So maybe next week you can get a win and be more proud to talk about your team.
And as a side note, David English is in Las Vegas this week, so let's all say a prayer for him and watch out for hookers with wieners.
No trainings for you, Dave. All right. Well, that's your power rankings for week 8. We'll see you next week in week 9.
Bye.